Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to RC Racing TV's coverage here of the EFRA 1/8 scale IC Euros here at the MC Ettlingen facility in Germany. It's another beautiful day out here. It's been about one cloud in the sky all day, and it was about that big. It has been sunny weather the whole day, which has meant that the spectators are getting a nice tan, but crucially that track out there has been very sticky, very hot, and generally a very tough one for the competitors, because as the sun has come up and down, that's changed the conditions as well. And what we also saw today, the big news from today, was the debut of the SUPERPOLE qualifying format. We had qualifying rounds 3, 4 and 5, and we had Simon Kurzbuch go through as top qualifier from those. What we then had was the 4 behind him, Robert Piech, Lars Hoppe, Dario Ballestri and Gilles Groskamp, go into SUPERPOLE, which is where they both had a shootout format. You've seen our coverage on RC Racing TV. It was thrilling, it was tense, it was just, you could cut the atmosphere for a knife, with a knife out there on the track, and it was absolutely thrilling stuff. So what we're now going to do is have a look around the pit lane, have a walk around the garage, and get the live reactions of the drivers involved, the top 5 at the end of qualifying, going into the finals here on RC Racing TV. And first up would be Lars Hoppe. Now, Lars, it was an incredibly close qualifying session on the timing screens. You were first out there. Tell us how it felt to be the first guy out there in SUPERPOLE.
Yes, it was very tight in the qualification, I think. I was very happy to get the SUPERPOLE. but the problem was, I think the track was very dirty at the beginning. And so it was very difficult. The traction was very low. That was not so easy.
So you feel like going first may have been a disadvantage as well as an advantage?
Yes, maybe it was a little bit a disadvantage.
Maybe a little bit. And just try and explain to the viewers just how tense it must have been, because we saw you up there in the driver's stand on your own. Normally you've got a bunch of other guys there, but you were all on your own on the track. How did that feel? Was that a new experience?
It's a nice experience, I think. you hear your own car, and yeah, you have time. You have nobody in the. Yeah, you have the track for you alone. So very nice.
It must have been a bit of a new experience for all of you. Now, you'll be going through into the semi-finals. Obviously, you didn't progress from SUPERPOLE. Do you feel like, despite that, you can still go on and win this event? Do you feel like you've still got some speed to make up?
I think win is very difficult. I think I need 1/10 of a second per lap.
1,000, that's how much it was in that session.
I think the warm temperature are not so easy for me.
I see.
If it's cold, it's okay, but in the warm condition, it's not so easy.
See, we've heard a few drivers this weekend say how they favour the warm conditions, and others, obviously like Lars, not so. So it's interesting how that plays out. Well, thanks very much for talking to us. Best of luck coming up in the semi-finals.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next up will be Robert Piech, the man who won that SUPERPOLE session with an absolutely storming lap. Talk us through that lap, and it coming with you being the last of the 4 competitors going out there.
Yeah, for me it was a little benefit to start at last because I saw the other drivers starting before me, and I saw they didn't manage super fast laps, so my self-confidence goes a little bit upside, and I changed the setup of the car a little bit, because I saw the cars starting before me was sliding a little. So I changed the 2 in, which played out good, and the car was getting better and better, and I think I managed already the second lap to be faster than Dario.
Yeah, it was. I think it was around lap 3 or 4 that was the fastest one. So just talk us briefly about the track conditions out there, because it's easy to assume on a hot day that the track is kind of sticky and bedded in, but we're hearing that there wasn't actually as much traction out there.
As more hot it gets, as worse the track gets, to be honest. The cars were more sliding than in the colder conditions. I don't know why, but it seems to be every day when it was getting hot, the track got worse.
Well, that's interesting. So obviously being the winner of SUPERPOLE, you are through and you're locked in. How are you feeling about your chance to become a European champion again?
For me it's really nice, because I like to start second, because last year I started in pole and I didn't manage to win the race. And many times when I start second, you have a little more overview. You don't have the pressure from the others behind you because you start behind the leader, and for me it's the best starting position I can imagine.
So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out, Robert is going to be very dangerous. He's starting from his preferred second grid slot. Thank you very much for talking to us. Best of luck for the rest of the event.
Thank you.
Now there's Robert Peach. Now, that was very interesting what he said to us about the track conditions out there. It is easy. It's very easy to assume, viewers, that warm sky, warm sunshine equals warm track. That's exactly what I thought. But for some, Lars and Robert both saying that there wasn't actually that much traction out there on the track. Let's see what Gilles Groskamp has to say about that. Gilles, just talk us through the experience of going through the inaugural SUPERPOLE. How was it for you just being, you alone with the track man and machine?
Yeah, it was kind of funny, but I just honestly speaking, I didn't really was thinking about the crowd watching or people online watching. I was just doing just normal drive, and for me the SUPERPOLE wasn't that great. The engine was too lean, so I didn't have the power I wanted, and also the traction was a lot lower than it was just before, because we had a small break, and after we went out for the SUPERPOLE, so the traction wasn't that good. So it was okay.
We're hearing that a lot. That's a common theme coming through about the SUPERPOLE, that there wasn't actually that much grip. Now, I mean, the assumption was that with the sun baking down on the track, there would be grip, but are you saying that because there was a break between the rounds, the track had a chance to cool down and that had an effect?
No, it's not about it's not about temperature. It's more about the dust, because it's a bit windy, and you can and some people were walking on the track, just before we had SUPERPOLE. Some people make pictures, and I think that was the effect for the lower grip.
Okay, well that's very interesting to hear about that, and I wonder if that'll be an impact across the weekend. Now, obviously we're going into the semi-finals now. Are you still feeling confident in your chances of being European champion again?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've been fast all week, just especially the last 2 days. I was fast. The fuel is okay. We can make the run time pretty easy. So yeah, we know what to do for the final for sure. Just first semi-final, I will start number 1 in the semi, so that's of course an advantage, because for sure with the tight start grid and especially the hairpin, it's nice to start from pole, just to try to be gone in the first laps. And of course what I say about the fuel, we probably go with 5 minutes. So it's I think a lot of people go safe, and they have to fuel one stop extra. So for sure that will give me the advantage. So I think semi-finals should not be a big problem, but you never know. There's a lot of fast guys. But I think more about the final, and of course Simon is fast, Robert is fast, Dario is fast. I think those 3 are really fast. So just wait and see. Strategy-wise, I just hope it's warm tomorrow, because for me I think it's better when it's warm, for the engine, for the mileage, and also for the car traction, and also just for my own driving style. I think if it's warmer, it's a bit more slippery, so I think it's better for me.
Excellent. Well, there you go. Lars Hoppe said he wasn't favouring the hot conditions. Groskamp did. Thank you very much for talking to us. Good luck tomorrow. So, let's continue on, shall we? Now, there was an interesting point that Groskamp made about fuel strategy. And he actually said tomorrow, because obviously where the finals are going to be longer, he spoke of where fuel strategy was going to be all important. Now, we're going to talk to Dario Aletti. Dario Balestri. Speak to you. It was incredibly tight and tense in that SUPERPOLE session. How did it feel going out there? How was it for you out there? Just you on your own in the driving stand and you alone on the track.
The problem in the last lap of SUPERPOLE was that maybe I think before we start, some guys go around the track, and the track was totally shit, to be honest. I also speak with the other before me, like Lars Hoppe, and he say in these days, never like this the track. Also my car was totally without traction. Maybe I think for sure for Robert was a bit better, and then we will see tomorrow in the semi-final.
Yep, excellent. So that's very interesting. A lot of comments about the grip on the track during SUPERPOLE. That seems to be a big factor out there. Now, you've been quick all week. Obviously, coming in as reigning champion, you've got to be one of the favourites here. How are you feeling coming through there, going through to the semi-final? How are you feeling about your chance of going back to back?
We will try to make the best with strategy of tires, and for sure important will be to arrive in the end with the engine and without problem of the car. Anyway, my package is very good. Without the problem of the 5 minutes, we are very competitive, and I hope for tomorrow.
Excellent. Well, you've certainly shown a lot of pace so far, so best of luck. Well, looking forward to seeing if you can go back to back. So, again, more comments, tons of comments about the traction out there, grip on the track. So, just before we wrap up, let's see if we can have a word with Simon Kurzbuch.
No, Simon.
Simon? Yeah. Simon Kurzbuch. We've been asking everyone how it was to be in the SUPERPOLE. How was it for you watching it as top qualifier?
Yes, it was really interesting to see just one fast lap of these 4 drivers. I was a little bit surprised that the lap times weren't faster. Perhaps it was the grip or the temperature. I don't know, but it was really nice to see.
It must have been satisfying for you going through as top qualifier. How good did that feel when you got through qualifying 5? You'd made it to the top.
Yeah, when I woke up in the morning, I said I have to risk all today. Without that, I can't make the TQ. And in the first round, I had some problem with the fuel tube. Broke one engine, unfortunately. And then I changed to another engine and pushed as hard as I can. And yeah.
So how much of an advantage do you feel you now have going through as a top qualifier straight into the final? How confident do you feel about your chances now?
Yeah, I think it's only 4 meters on the starting grid, so it's not that much, but I'm really happy to reach the pole position in 3 rounds that count. Yeah. Okay, of course. Yeah. I'm really happy about this to show my performance of the stuff, as well as Shepard and Novarossi and all my stuff. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, as the top qualifier, you're going to be one of the favourites now, so best of luck. Well done in qualifying. Thank you very much for speaking to us. So, that concludes our pit walk today on day 2 of action here in Ettlingen in Germany. And I've been Adam Johnson with the RC Racing TV crew. A lot of talk about track grip, a lot of talk about fuel strategy. Hell of a lot of stories that are going to play out tomorrow when we get into the finals. Tune in right here on RC Racing TV for that.